Ride the cultivation curve. Ancient rules, new world word. See the soul, learn and burn. Grow through what you've earned.
Cannabis history, genetics, breeding, cultivation, and growth through plant medicine.
The cultivation curve,
where the wisdom takes root.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cultivation Curve podcast. I am here with Vixen Flower and Shaman Mary Hughes.
Hi there.
Tonight's guest again is coming back is Alyce Walters, and we're going to learn more about her and how a recent retreat went.
Yes, excited.
Yeah.
So let's going to bring Alyce on.
Yeah, well, let's bring her on right away and let's start recapping and getting to know her again.
All right.
Hello, Alyce.
Hi.
Welcome back.
So, is everybody else's week off? With yesterday being a holiday and Monday, my week is off again. It was off all last week too, but now it's really off this week.
Are you still gonna take some time for yourself coming up, even though if we're not having a getaway or anything?
I'm not sure. I might
She's
use
still-
the vacation time.
You earned your vacation time each year. I know you get it. So
Oh
take
yeah,
it.
I do.
I'll
just
figure
might not
out,
take
okay,
those
between
days.
Alyce and myself, I'm sure we'll figure out a retreat for you, or we'll drag you down here
That's
by
good.
us to do something with us.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she needs some time away from the job.
From
Or
the
you don't have to
office.
cook or coordinate. You get to just
Yeah.
You know how I know she's busy working? Because I never see her.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, usually she stops by Discord once in a while, but not when it's like winter was. I mean, everyone was kind of inside during winter, right? But then spring and now summer's coming. I'm not even home half the time now. And then I'm missing nights hanging out. Usually every night I hang out with people in Discord, wind down for the day. How was the day? How do the kids do? Blah, blah, and then go to bed. I've missed a couple nights in the last couple of weeks just because I've been busy or exhausted after the end of the day and just go to bed.
Yeah. I kind of need a reminder with Discord because it's like not my go-to, but if you're like,
Yeah.
hey, going to Discord, you joining us? Yeah.
Fair
I'm like,
enough.
yeah, hold on.
Yeah, 333's like that too. I have to hit him up. Be like, hey, we're in there. Oh yeah, that app.
Right? And see, that's me.
Well, I wish there was other like places to just. I mean, StreamYard is one of those where you could just pop in, but you don't know anyone's in here until you're invited.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why I like Discord. You can just see there's a couple people in there, or you don't see anyone in there. You go, hey, where is everyone?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just babbling about Discord now, and I like socializing with my friends outside of the social medias.
Right. We're happy to socialize. It's okay.
Well, I mean, most of the people that I've made friends with, and a lot of us out there, our friends are online. Like the people that support us the most are online and far away from us. Not all the time. That's how we meet each other locally and stuff. I've met a lot of great people locally because of them being online, and then all of a sudden, hey, where are you at? Oh, I'm in the same area. All right, let's meet up.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, I still got balloons in the background.
Birthday. Yeah. Happy belated birthday again.
Thank you.
I told you it was when it was your birthday, but
Yeah.
I don't
It was nice to get out of my 30s. I feel like an adult again. It's like when you turn an 18. It's like you turn 40. It's like, okay, 20s and 30s are gone now. I feel like I'm more adult than I was an adult before, if that makes any sense. You guys are... I know Vixen's older than me. I know Mary's older than me. Alyce might be... I don't know your age, but well, you still have more experience than me and a little bit of age on me. That I'm not a lot. You're not old. I need to stop talking. We got 3 women looking at me right now like,
Like, this guy's about to call us old. What?
We're talking about age, like, I don't know.
But like, which lifetime? I mean, technically, you know, like.
oh, all I'm saying is it feels good to be in my 40s. And I like being around people that are 40s and 50s.
Yeah, less drama most of the time.
Yeah. It's like that 1 year just getting out of the 30s. It already feels like I've met people in the last couple of years of my 30s that are older than me, and or my age, or I just starting to understand things more. Just getting older. Yeah. Anyways, we're here to talk about Alyce. What you got going on, what you had going on, what's going on in the future.
So let's what we'll do is Alyce has an event coming up in October. And it's a women's retreat, kind of based around ayahuasca, if I'm not mistaken. And you kind of want to just tell us a little bit about it, kind of what it involves.
So I typically host 2 retreats a year. So I have a co-ed ayahuasca retreat in February, but this October I have a women's retreat, and I do still have spots available. But basically it's a week long, and we have beachfront property. We have a private chef. We will do massages, jungle tours. We go shopping in town. We go to a static dance. We'll go out to eat one night. We do daily breath work, yoga, sound healing. We do some excursions. There's a lot packed into it. But we do 2 ayahuasca ceremonies, and it's really fun. You also get to tap into Hapé and Sananga, and it's fun to like get to the finca because it's kind of a trek. So you have to hike up a mountain, like 20-30 minute hike. And then once you get to the finca, it's just like grass, roof and beds in the middle of the jungle. So it's a really fun adventure. There's been times where I've walked in the pouring rain, like up the mountain, and just soaking wet. And then there's other times where it's just like beautiful, and you like get a moment to like stop and like look around. And I mean, there's so many animals and trees and plants, and it's breathtaking.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at your pictures. I was like, wow.
Yeah. The women's retreat is, I mean, both of them are fun, but the women's retreat is a little bit different of an experience because it's all women. So we're a little bit more free. And so that's just really nice. And to like be around other sisters and healing each other. And we'll have like clay masks, and we'll, take turns. We'll have someone lay down, and all of us will circle around each other, start massaging, put the mask on, do Reiki, and just like pour into each other. And it's just like so nice.
I'm not a woman, but that sounds amazing. And I totally know it's not something guys would do. I mean, maybe. Depends on the group, but
we haven't done the masks with the co-ed retreat yet, but I don't know. You never know.
No, the only part that I don't see like happening with men is laying down and a bunch of other men around you massaging you. I don't see that going on.
Yeah.
But the masks and the other stuff, I mean, I'm down to do it all. I'm very open. But that one just threw me off. I was like, wait a minute, what if it was reversed? And I went on this retreat and it wasn't women. But no, I love that you guys are doing this stuff together. And making it about just women, because I love women. I think they're amazing. I think there's a purpose for both sexes. And we coincide with each other.
Yeah, we complement each other for sure.
Yes.
So I do still have some spots available for that. It's $3,300 and it includes everything except for your first hotel stay and your flights. But after that, like, I have everything taken care of. We have a private driver and you don't have to think about anything. So
it's like an all-inclusive getaway in a sense.
I
with healing and treatment.
So we don't use a retreat center or anything like that. The people that I've been working with, like the shamans, my chef, my yoga instructor, basically everybody, every part of it, I've been working with them for the last 5 years. So we're a well-oiled machine, and it just kind of, as a facilitator and a host, it gives me that peace of mind that, like, if anything was to go wrong, like, I'm working with locals, so like there's always going to be a fix, and like I have a relationship, like these people have become my friends.
Right.
So it just gives me that peace of mind that when I'm hosting for 6-7 people, that everyone is going to be safe and we're taken care of no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you get a different, like, level of immersion, because, like, my driver, Sasha, he at the beginning he would like rent like the shuttle buses for us and like be really official, but like depending on the size of the group, not only does all of the money like go to his pocket and to his family, which I would rather, he'll sometimes drive his like truck, and that's really fun because like we're in the middle of the jungle and we're all riding in the back of his truck and it's like bouncy, and I don't know, it's just it's so fun to like see everybody's like inner child come out. Like, that's what I see when I'm hosting, is I see everyone's like childlike wonderment, because they don't have to think about anything. They're being fed, they know that they're being taken care of. I create an itinerary and I send it out to everybody so they have an idea of what to expect and with what we're doing for each day. And some people look at it because that feels good for them, and some people are like, I don't really care, and
just go with the flow.
Right. And even with the itinerary, that's pretty loose. Like, I really kind of like try to read the energy, because we do try to pack quite a bit into 7 days, which you would think that 7 days, so you've got ample time to and energy to like see all the things. But when you're doing the ayahuasca, like we do one ceremony, and then we have a day in between, and then you have another ceremony. And the way that you physically feel after, and mentally after the aya, some people, it can bring up a lot. So some people like really desire to have alone time and be by themselves. Other people want to go to the ocean, and so I try to read the room to make sure that everyone is doing and feeling the way that is best for them. So nothing is very rigid. If, we'll kind of be like, okay, hey, like we're going to do our yoga flow. And if you feel like doing the yoga, then you are more than welcome to join us. If you feel like you want to take a nap, then do that.
Who is the queen of leaving her body during yoga every single time? This past weekend, Kelly.
Seriously, I think she was probably asleep for like at least 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, not asleep, but like, I don't know.
I just go out. I'm done.
Yeah,
we've been doing a lot of ceremony and a lot of things. Can I ask a question? Because obviously you've done Aya. Aya is not one of the plant medicines that I have partaken in. And my question to you is, how does the ceremony look like? Is it an all-night deal, or how many hours? You don't mind me asking, do you? Because you're sending me a spot, I'm coming.
Yeah. I know you are. So the way the day looks like for ceremony, you are allowed to have a light breakfast, and you can't eat anything past noon. And then after that, we will get picked up around like 4:30. So fun fact about Costa Rica, it's full 12 hours. So the sun rises at 5:30 and it sets at 5:30. So we leave to go to the finca at 4:30, and then it gives us enough time to hike before it gets dark. And then generally we start with Alejandra first, but she'll light the fire. She uses copal to cleanse the space, and then she'll cleanse each person. She usually will go over a little bit of information. She wants to find out whose first time it is, and just kind of let people acclimate to the space and answer any questions that people may have. But there's I don't know, there's probably like 7 or 8 mattresses on this like wooden plank, and so you just kind of pick your bed, and you're just waiting and kind of anxious, just like getting the fire ready, and you're getting all your blankets and your pillows ready, and getting ready for what you're about to partake in. And then it gets dark, and then you're like, oh, it's getting serious now. And so she'll offer Hapé, which is a plant medicine that is ground into a snuff and blown into your nose. And it's very grounding. And so it's kind of like nature's Xanax. So it will definitely take the edge off if you're having any anxiety. It's a beautiful medicine. So it's a great way to start your ceremony, just to kind of calm your nerves. And then after that, we'll go through prayer. And then she will start serving the medicine. I usually go last. The shaman goes last, but in our group, I am the one that usually goes last. It's just kind of like a tradition. If you're the guide, that's what happens. And then also, I've just kind of learned, and again, this is also, I've been told, at least being a guide, this is why this happens to me, I guess, but I will usually be the first to purge. So I can only keep the medicine in for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then I purge. And the reasoning for that is because I'm essentially showing people like how to do, like, I'm giving them permission. Like, if you're struggling and you're ready to vomit, it's okay, do it. So yay me. Love that. But yeah, so we work with a couple of different vines. So usually we'll start with the red vine on the first night, and that vine is more about like being in the body. So in my experience, I will feel her kind of slithering through my body. It's very gentle. It can literally be orgasmic for women. Like, you can reach orgasm by just moving your leg, which is kind of a perk. And it's working with your lower energy centers. And for me, I love that vine. I get the most information where I can understand it and I can process it. And then, but there's red, there's white, there's golden, and there's cielo. And they all have different experiences. Yellow does not work well for me. I've tried it a handful of times, and like this last ceremony, I finally like realized, I was like, I have nothing to prove. Like, I don't have to do, just because I offer red and yellow or red and white or whatever, that doesn't mean that I have to do the yellow. I can choose to sit with red both nights. And this last ceremony, I sat with yellow again, and I was just like, why am I doing, like, it does not work for me. It's all the higher energy centers. It sends me straight into the ethers, and nothing makes sense. And to me, it just kind of feels like a waste, because I'm not getting any. It's like a circus. It makes no sense. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not learning anything. And yeah, it just finally dawned on me. I was like, I don't have to do this. Like, I come here often enough that I can make that choice for myself. And so that was really amazing to finally get that download 5 years later, that like, I can just sit with Fred. You know, for my guests, I encourage them to try both, you know, or, you know, because you want to have a full experience, but that no longer resonates for me. So, you'll take your first cup. It lasts, depending on how fast your body metabolizes it, it will last about 4 to 6 hours. And then they'll offer us a second cup, and you can choose that or not, depending on the person. Sometimes people will need 3-4 cups for their first one before they feel anything. I have seen huge men have to take a bunch, and I've seen tiny ass women have to take a bunch. So it has nothing to do with your size or anything like that. I think it has more to do with like your openness and willingness to surrender. But also, Aya works very differently for different people. Not everybody purges. And then also like a purge is not always vomit. So sometimes that's crying, it's shaking, it's yawning, it's going to the bathroom.
I'm a crier. I'm a crier.
Yeah. Well,
Like, I won't even feel sad, and I'll just be pouring tears down. My body's just releasing it, you know.
that's really sweet.
Just saying, I'm a total crier when it comes to certain plant medicine.
Oh yeah. Oh well, if you're referring to the mushroom, that's because a specific neuroreceptor in your brain, and not everybody gets that. So you're in a small percentile of people who that happens to, and I'm one of them too. I
like it. It gives me. I feel majorly refreshed after.
Oh yeah, no, same. I mean, I go through like a box of tissues, and it looks like a mess. So yeah, I'm in that group with you for the tears as well. I love that. So night one, we usually have Alejandra. She's very nurturing, very motherly. And then we'll have a day in between, which just kind of gives you a day to like recoup. You get to actually eat again, and just really integrate, because a lot happens. Then night 2, we get to sit with Tristan. And so Tristan is, he's the plant daddy. He has over 28 different species of fruit plants and trees on his property. He's the only person I know who can successfully grow peyote in the jungle. But he grows the ayahuasca, he prepares it, and then obviously Alejandra and Tristan both serve it. The medicine responds vastly different with Tristan than it does with Alejandra. With Tristan, it's like a full send. It's great, but it's very intense. It's very powerful. And it's really beautiful to have the difference between the playful dad energy, and also like he sings and he plays instruments. So sometimes when we're with Tristan, it's like you get a whole concert as well, which is like beautiful. Sometimes our friend Alex will also play music, and he also serves ayahuasca and usually like helps Alejandra and Tristan, but he works with a ton of different tribes. So he'll go to Colombia and he'll be serving, or Peru, or I mean he travels all over and gains different wisdom from different tribes and helps, and also he is a English to Spanish translator. So a lot of the times he'll go to those to help translate at the retreats. So, that's cacao. So this photo is in the indigenous territory of the Bribri tribe. And so that's just a bunch of cacao that is drying out. And on this tour, you get to learn about how they make clothing out of like tree bark. You get to taste and learn about medicinal plants. What else? We learn how to make cacao, and we make our own cacao. You get to eat with the indigenous tribes, so you get to eat a traditional meal. They show you how to fold a banana leaf to make a bowl, and then you get to eat with your hands, which is like my favorite. I eat with my hands all the time. Kind of embarrassing for some people, but I like to connect with my food. So that was really fun. And then we get to go through the jungle. We walk through like 2 or 3 rivers to get to this like most majestic waterfall. So that excursion is like a ton of fun for sure. But yeah, so let's see, what else? Do you have any other questions about Aya?
Actually, that was awesome. Like hearing it firsthand from somebody instead of, watching another podcast or just kind of, learning about it. But no,
yeah.
So like, what kind of brought you into your journey with plant medicine? Sorry, I've always wanted to ask you that.
Yeah. Woo! Well, let's see. I left an abusive relationship, and about 6 months later, and I lost everything in that relationship. So when I moved here with my kids, I had to start over fresh. And that was coming out of COVID, and I was homeschooling my kids and barely working. We had built a salon in the basement, and so I would kind of take a few clients, but essentially like my business got destroyed, not only because of COVID, but also my mental health because of my relationship. So I lost a lot of clients. So coming out of that, and then having to, be responsible for a household by myself financially as a single mom of 3 kids, who was like a shell of herself because she was being mentally, spiritually, physically abused, was not easy. But I had a lot of help. It was a very humbling experience, but I had a lot of help and had to take it. And so 6 months later, it was almost like my body finally felt safe. And so she just gave up on me. And I woke up on May 18th of 21, and I had a rash, just a little subtle rash on my body, and I was feeling really hot. Didn't really understand what it was. I think I probably took some like allergy medicine. I went to go get my nails done, and like throughout the day it just kept getting worse. And like thankfully I had the idea to like take pictures of myself, and so like I was entangling myself with my ex again, even though after I left him. So I was like sending pictures to him. I was sending pictures to my mom, who my mom was an RN and worked for Quintile. So she has a lot of medical background. And so from basically by 5 p.m., I had taken multiple oatmeal baths. I had taken, put hydrocortisone cream, whatever. But like 5 p.m., like it was bad. Like my tongue was melting, my lips were melting, my brain, like it was affecting my brain. So the fact that I was taking pictures and sending them to people was showing them the progression, because I didn't have a conscious awareness of how it was progressing. And so my ex actually took me to the hospital, the closest one to my house. And they took one look at me, and I was like immediately admitted. But the hospital that I originally went to, they had no idea what was wrong with me, and they were not equipped to deal with me. And basically from 5 p.m. on, it just accelerated very rapidly. And Oh, I should have shared you pictures of that.
I actually just sent it to
Okay, I was like, that's more like the video.
I just can't access Facebook from this computer.
Yeah,
Oh.
so that's
We got it.
That's gnarly. But basically, I was in Overland Park Regional for about a week, and my friends would come in. My friends knew that I was there. I think I had let one of my friends know. So they ended up coming. Nobody was like, the doctors weren't figuring anything out. I hadn't eaten in a week because I couldn't. Like I couldn't ring for the nurses. I couldn't eat because my mouth was melting. I couldn't walk because like all of my skin, the bottoms of my feet, 98% of my body melted from the inside out. So my bowels stopped working, my kidneys, my liver. I should be blind. I should be very severely scarred, which you can't really tell. If I show you, if I point it out, you can tell. But
Is it cool to share the Facebook thing?
Huh?
Is it cool to share the Facebook?
Absolutely.
All right. It doesn't have, I don't have the sound on or anything, but I'm just.
I went to the hospital with what I thought was a rash. 1 week later, I was still in the hospital and my diagnosis was unknown. I was then transferred to KU.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Within an hour, they had diagnosed me with Stevens-Johnson syndrome. It's a life-threatening skin disease that affects 1% of the population and has a 50% mortality rate. They put a port in my neck so they could administer medication. I had my first skin surgery, and then I was admitted into the ICU on the burn unit for 3 weeks. There's no cure or treatment for SJS. There's only supportive care to ensure that you are comfortable while the disease is being triggered to run its course. Most people end up blind and severely scarred if they do survive. I'm lucky enough that I did not end up blind, and I am only scarred from my waist down. Common SJS triggers are Tylenol, antibiotics, autoimmune disease, and some antidepressants. I, however, didn't take any of these, and I don't have any autoimmune diseases. My Stevens-Johnson syndrome was triggered spontaneously.
True story.
That is wild, and I cannot imagine how terrifying that had to be.
I really didn't have an awareness. I was in so much pain, like I was hallucinating. Like I said, it was affecting my brain, and I didn't have an awareness that I was that close to death at all. And my friends, I think my mom's phone number must have been written on my board or something. And so one of my friends had gotten a hold of my mom because I could no longer advocate for myself. And I hadn't eaten for a week. None of the nurses were feeding me. And I couldn't eat. Like my mouth was an open wound. So my mom came into town and she was my power of attorney. And so she got me transferred to KU, which you have to be accepted. So they had to take pictures of my body and send it to KU. And I got accepted. And within an hour, they knew what was wrong with me. And so I remember as soon as they did my first skin surgery. So they did what's called debriding, and they removed the non-viable tissue. But they have to sedate you, like it's excruciating. And then they wrapped me in like the mummy thing. But I remember feeling like this sense of relief. Like I felt so good. Like I felt like there was some cooling something. I have no idea, but it was like the first time that I felt good. And yeah. So they knew exactly, KU is a research hospital. So they were very interested in me. I had about 20 doctors because they were just very curious, because they couldn't find the cause. You know, like it would make sense if like, oh, I had taken a medication, but they were stumped.
That's like a story right out of Dr. House, you know, or House, where he gets the special one where like, we got nothing, you know, 20 doctors got nothing. One comes in, it's like, it's a.
Alyce, remember that conversation we had about that sinus area thing that was going on? And remember what I said to you about how illness is sometimes mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes things are not connected to a physical cause. Sometimes our emotions, our mental state, our spiritual state will bring things on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was, you know, your body keeps the score, and that's totally what happened. Like I definitely agree with that. It was my body being like, you can finally like fall apart after everything that you dealt with. Like, because when I was dealing with the abuse, it didn't stop after I left him. If anything, it got more aggressive. And so it was very, very difficult I didn't have the tools to like manage my emotions. I was deeply trauma bonded. And so I would have like, I felt crazy. Like I had somebody who was intentionally gaslighting me and manipulating me, and like, that I just didn't know how to cope with that. And I feel like, you know, when I was finally in my own space and I was safe, my body was like, we're done. We're done. So, but it was a blessing. I know that sounds weird, but I've always been open to energies and things like that, but this changed things. It was almost like a stereo turned up. Like it was, everything was so amplified. Like I couldn't touch my phone because I was so sensitive to the heat, because this is a PC. Like I could feel it. I could feel the radiation going through my elbows. So I could barely touch my phone. I could barely be in the energy of another person. Like, and when I was in the ICU, I was in complete darkness, and there was only one person in my room at a time, because I would get physically ill and from the energy of other people.
Wow.
It was too much. So it was very interesting to learn how to navigate that after.
Right.
So I immediately was like, I need help. So I was like looking for like quantum healers and things like that. Like I need help learning how to turn this down, because it was nauseating. So, but now I have a good grasp on a lot of my clairs and abilities, and so it's good now, but it was a lot at first, for sure. So basically after that experience, that's when I got the call for Aya, which I'm no stranger to psychedelics. Like I've been working with the mushroom for 18 years. You know, not always medicinally, you know, same with like acid and MDMA and things like that. But even though my intention wasn't medicinal, I still feel like there was a lot of benefits happening to me through those experiences regardless. So, and you know, I'd heard of like San Pedro, I've heard of peyote, I've heard of ayahuasca, but like I never expected that I would ever have the desire, or B, have the opportunity to sit with ayahuasca. It just wasn't on my radar. And then all of a sudden, I mean, and this was months after my NDE, right, that I'm like getting the call for Aya, and I kept talking to my friends about it, and she would come to me in like weird ways, but it wasn't just Aya, it was Aya and Costa Rica, so it was very specific. And like I would go to a coffee shop, and like the blend of coffee for the week was Costa Rica. I would have a client come in, and she just came back from Costa Rica, and she's a real estate agent. So she had her laptop, and she's like, working and like telling me all about Costa Rica and how much she loved it and changed her life. And she got this bracelet, and you need to get one, and so here I am. She's like ordering me a bracelet, and, we have that conversation. And then literally same day, my friend Chelsea comes in, and I'm telling her about Costa Rica. Oh, my client. She's like, oh yeah, I've been to Costa Rica, and, I did ayahuasca. And I was like, what? I was like, are we even friends? Like, how did I not know this about you? And I was like, okay. And then my friend Pon, this is really interesting too. My friend Pon is friends. Oh, Mary, you're going to love this. My friend Pon is friends with this woman named Yaya. And Yaya used to live in Missouri, and then she moved to Costa Rica. Well, she was hosting a women's retreat, and my friend had heard me talking about it. So she sent me the information. So I haven't worked, right? I was in the hospital for a month, and then I think it was 3 months before I was able to physically try to go back to work again. And single mom, 3 kids. Now I have this desire to go by myself to Costa Rica and spend $4,000. Like, okay, like nothing made sense. But I leaned into it, and so I started making payments on it. And what's really interesting is that my friend Pon had given the only time I'd ever sat with cacao was with my friend Pon. Well, the first and only cacao that I had ever had was from Yaya. Well, then I go to Costa Rica to sit at this retreat with Yaya, and we're at the table. It's like our first day. We're talking about ourselves and introducing ourselves. And I start telling my story about SJS, and her eyes light up, and she was like, that was you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, Pon asked, because her family's from Missouri. So she was in town, and Pon asked her to go outside of KU and do distance Reiki for me. So I'd never met this woman before, but she's already done Reiki on me. And I've already had her cacao.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like how crazy is that? So yeah, and what's another thing that's crazy is like, again, I go to the retreat as a participant. I am trying to heal from, at that point in time, I was trying to heal from my medical trauma, but I was still actively trying to heal from my ex, because while I was in the hospital fighting for my life, he was cheating on me. And I got a message from the girl he was cheating on me with that said, solid man right there. We were fucking the entire time you were fighting for your life. Burned in my brain. Wow. So I was like trying to get over that. And yeah, but what's kind of interesting is like, I didn't know it consciously at the time, but my higher self did. I was every person that we came into contact with. So the shamans, I was asking for their information. So I had their WhatsApp numbers. Fernando, which is a friend of mine, and he has a wildlife lodge. That's where Yaya used to live, and that's where we stayed for our retreat. And he's a wealth full of knowledge, has a beautiful retreat space, also has a bunch of trees and herbs and plants, and he's very educated as well. So because of SJS, I can't take over-the-counter medications. I can't take antidepressants or antibiotics or anything like that. So I thought the reason why I was getting his information was because I wanted, if I needed to ask questions for herbs and stuff, I trusted him. But it turns out that the reason why I was getting everybody's numbers is because I was going to be hosting retreats myself and working with these people, but I didn't know that at the time. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot happened in about 14 months of my life. I lost everything twice. Materialistically lost all of my stuff. My ex kept everything. And then physically, like, losing my life.
Sometimes we have to get lost to be found. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a phoenix. And that's why I named my business Sun Goddess Healing, was because my body melted, and so it was hot. And so that's where Sun Goddess Healing came from.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we can all literally relate to your story with, as far as, you know, abusive relationships and narcissistic and healing from that, and just knowing how it feels so crazy, you know, the mind control.
Started talking about gaslighting. I had flashbacks.
Right? Yeah, I already knew you were thinking about it too.
Well, I just froze for a little bit. I'm like, oh. Yep.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yes.
I just viewed that situation as an initiation, and I have a child with him, and he's still very extremely difficult to this day. My son is almost 7, and the way that I have kind of reframed my mind about it is he gives me ample opportunity to practice being who I say I am and who I want to be, because in the last 7+ years that we have been entangled, he's remained the same. So not quickly, I almost said I very quickly, that's a lie. It took me time. I learned that it was me that had to change. I couldn't react. I couldn't continue to take the bait. I had to learn that, like, to practice the pause. I had to learn the power of silence. And as, you know, technology has advanced, I've definitely utilized all of the tools available to me. So when I struggle with not being emotional, I will copy and paste his email and put it into ChatGPT and ask for a response and copy and paste that and send it to him, because I'm like, you want to argue? Fucking argue with a robot, dude. Not getting you the energy.
Can I just tell you,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was the
that
only
might-
one who did that. I swear, when I deal with narcissists and sociopaths, I just copy, paste, and then send them a response, because, and I literally will tell ChatGPT, I'm like, this person is batshit crazy, off their rocker, delulu. I just need an answer at this point, because I don't want to put the energy into it anymore. I don't have to put the energy into it. I thought when you said technology, I was going to say, yeah, block and delete are a beautiful thing. You don't have to look at people's Facebooks. You don't have to have them come up. You can just block and delete them.
I do that.
That energy is just, speaking of energy, you guys, I love her events. Like, that's my monthly, like, jam these days.
They are so fun. I love it. My yurt is still up. It's been up for 3 days. I slept in it for 2 days.
I saw your post. I knew you slept in it. So, and usually we try to catch up regularly. We talk on the regular. You know, I talk to Kelly almost every day via at least text. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I talk to Alyce most every day. You know, try not to get on her nerves. I had boys So my son had all his friends over the last couple days. So I had a house full of boys, which I'm not used to having boys around. And it was just, it's a little different. They're in, they're out, they're in, they're out, they're hungry, they're hungry, they're hungry, they're out.
Oh yeah. That was me yesterday. It was insane. I'm here for it though. I love that school's out. I love that summer is here.
I still got 2.5 weeks left.
Of school?
Yeah, mine's 7. He'll be out. Next week's like all half days anyways, but it's still a week and 2.5 weeks left. They get out on the 10th.
It's my favorite time. I love that we get to go slow. We don't have to, I don't like having to be like, get up, we got to be at school. Like, the only thing that I don't like is how expensive it is to feed these kids, because my house is the mecca, right? Yeah. All of the kids come here.
Oh, I went
there.
That's why I like school. The 2 meals a day covered.
This is why I garden. I can't afford it. Now, if only I knew how to hunt, I'd really be set.
Make them all vegetarian. No, I'm just joking. Y'all.
Oh, they can't. these boys are meat eaters. I mean, so am I though. So
Start cultivating mushrooms.
oh yeah,
You can cook them, and they do sometimes.
Like meat, yeah.
yeah.
What was it,
Incorporate
a
it with
star?
it to spice it
I
out.
had a star something fruit. I had no idea. I was at this
Star fruit,
restaurant.
It's,
And they-
it's so good.
Oh my God, I had no idea. They were like, do you want to try? They only had chicken or this star fruit. And I'm like,
No, jackfruit.
jackfruit. Thank you. And they actually had fixed it up with kebab meat. Like it was a gyro or something, but it was really good. I was surprised. I was really.
I've had like a chicken like sandwich, and it was like this deep fried. I want to say it was like lion's mane, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh my God. I was like, I had to like double take. I was like, are you sure this isn't chicken? Like, oh, it was fire. So yeah, if I knew how to properly do that, I would totally eat, a mushroom chicken sandwich or like a portobello steak or something.
Yeah.
For sure.
The cauliflower buffalo wings aren't that bad. I mean, if you air
No,
fry
they're
them,
actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
they're pretty good.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm kind of curious on your event. Like, I know this would be down Crimson's alley, especially. But so, what plant medicines do they have available there? Like, is cannabis is it legal? In Costa Rica?
Cannabis is not legal there. But yes, you can get it. Oddly enough, they have, I guess, like dispensaries where you can get mushroom chocolates. But
yeah, it's crazy everywhere.
But cannabis is not legal. But yeah, I mean, so where I spend time is in the Caribbean, and so it's a more spiritual kind of vibe. So a lot of people, like, there's not really a lot of people drinking alcohol and stuff. It's more, it's cannabis, it's mushrooms, ayahuasca, Kambo, Hapé, and Sananga, basically.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kambo, because Alyce, I was telling Adam how back, I want to say maybe 30 years ago, I was like, I will never do that jungle medicine, because this weirdo came up to me and he spit Florida water at me, and I was like, I wanted to punch him. I was young at the time. I was in my 20s, like late 20s, and I was like, why are you spitting Florida water at me? Like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I am a shaman. And I'm like, you need to get away from me. He's like, but I can fix you. I'm like, no.
I'm not broken.
I was like, well, I probably was broken. I probably could have, I wasn't, looking back, when you're on your spirit, I talk a lot about this now. The healing and the work that's being done now, I started probably late 30s, early 40s, and now being 50, it's a work in progress. We're just a work in progress. We still get triggered at times. We still have to sometimes take a step back and heal from our past. You know what I mean? The plant medicine is beautiful because it brings things to the surface, but it's the shadow work. It's the integration. It's the changing. When you first get on the journey, and that's like, we've talked about that too. A lot of people, when they first awake or what have you, and they start their medicine journeys or their spiritual journeys, they want to try everything, and they get so overly excited, and they want to talk to this practitioner and this facilitator, and they want to do this and they want to do that, and they don't change the people around them. Like, they still go back to toxic marriages, toxic relationships, toxic families. And until you set boundaries or actually move away from part of the reason that you're on this healing journey, you don't change. It's not easy to be on a awakening or on a spiritual journey. Your whole life changes, your whole life changes, and it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
The hardest thing, I think, is learning how to not engage or not entertain them.
react.
Control your own energy and to control your own responses and to just let it roll off, because it triggers you so deep that your instinct is like, I can say something smarter. I can say that. I can outwit, and then it goes deeper and deeper, and they just cut, like, because they're on a whole different level. They're so conniving and so just literally abusive is the word, but it's just, and it goes so deep, but it doesn't stop. So you have to learn to disengage and pull back, and then just get numb to their behavior. And then you learn to develop boundaries, and then you learn to develop, or do you realize that, the only reason that they were this effective on me and this deep in my life is because I lacked those boundaries to begin with.
I allowed it 100%. Yeah. I think
it's learning to let them. I mean, we've talked about it with Kelly a lot. I'm in a place of let them, where before I would be so aggravated and I could go toe to toe. Right. I can go toe to toe, but is it really, they don't care. They're not hearing me. They're not going to change. It doesn't really affect them. Right. And a lot of times I would sit there and go, well, I know that, energy always returns, and I wish I was a fly on the wall to see, what's going to happen in their lives. And I've even gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't care what happens in their lives, because I'm going to put my energy into me, my family, my friends, my community, and I'm going to be positive, because at the end of the day, revenge, being upset, being angry, none of that is worth it anymore. None of it is worth it. It
festers in you, is all it does.
It does. And, and it's funny because a lot of times with narcs, you're like, oh my gosh, some of my family left with them, some of my friends, they collect a lot of the people, but the people they collect are now people that, looking at them now, I don't even vibe on the same level or would even want them in my lives. It's like, you know what? You can have them all. Like, take them. I don't need those type of people in my life,
Yeah.
So
I would say for me, the more that I've sat with like plant medicines, and I've done breath work and cold water immersion and just all of the holistic modalities that I tap into, the more I've been able to have better discernment on when someone is projecting onto me. And so that helps me to not be so triggered, because I'm like, this isn't even about me. Like, this is a you thing.
Right.
And so, that helps me like allow things to roll off my back, because I'm like, yeah, no, that's not mine.
Mm-hmm. Just to not let it get under your skin anymore.
Yeah, I feel like I am like forever unbothered. I mean, I do have elevated emotions, like, especially in parenting. But my ability to bring myself back to homeostasis is like on point. But it has taken me 5 active years and a lot of shame of like consciously seeing myself back and choose the same bullshit. And there was a lot of shame. Like, why am I doing this? I'm aware. Why am I still choosing this? And then finally I was like, oh, okay. Like, every time I would go back to my ex, what I was learning is the amount of time that I would tolerate his bullshit got shorter and shorter. And I was like, okay, I guess I still have more lessons to learn. And so then I stopped shaming myself, because I realized, I'm like, actually, you're just collecting data. And every single time that I would do that, it started giving me muscle memory on certain things. So I would get muscle memory. Like, I can tell when my ex is lying to me through the vibrations in his voice now. Because he had trained me so much. So anytime that he would do that, I would get this, like, it's very subtle, but I would get this hot tinge through my body, like a split second, very quickly. But it's so easy to ignore that. But the more that I would keep going back and like tolerating his bullshit, because my self-worth and my value was very low, boundaries were very poor. That's what he was there for. He was my initiation. He helped wake me up. And he is the reason, like, thank you. He is the reason why I have boundaries, why I have high, part of the reason why I have high value, high self-worth. And like all I can do is say thank you, and honestly, it just pisses him off more. He hates to see
Yep.
that I'm thriving. Gets under his skin.
At least your guides don't. In the back of my head now, sometimes when people are saying things, I'm getting bullshit. I'm like going, oh, stop, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of things in your head, are we going to talk about the Kambo ceremonies?
Yes.
Let's talk about Kambo. Let's talk about that jungle medicine.
Right. So that actually leads us back to last weekend with our retreat that we had, that Mary had at her place. I say we because we were all there, but it was Mary and Jacob's, their retreat that they had. As soon as Crimson's back, we'll have some pictures from it to share. But I even ended up doing the Kambo, which I hadn't planned. I did Sananga and Hapé too, but
Which ones?
you can show Mary has the dots on the back of her neck. I showed you that one. Mine were on my hand. As Adam explained it, with some of the purpose, or some people that would do Kambo, like a hunter within a tribe, say like hunters going out before a big hunt, they would do it. It would sharpen their focus. It would ground them. It would detox them. It would give them more, heighten their senses. And so when we were kind of choosing a location of where we wanted to put our gate, which is the little dot where it's burned, and then the medicine is applied to it, I just remember I was like, I wasn't necessarily looking for a purge, so to speak. I thought, you know what, I want to go into it from a hunter's perspective because I'm an artist, and a lot of times I'm faced with challenges with my gift. I was like, so I wanted to put my dot on my hand and kind of bring the intention there to sharpen my skills and sharpen my focus and sharpen my abilities. And then I ended up doing the full ceremony the next day. I have 4 more gates, which are nice. I don't know if you can see my hand, but they're all off. They're just like little light pink dots now, and they're healing. So it'll eventually.
I mean, it does look, it's a cool tattoo as well.
Yeah, I know, right? I kind of missed the dots, to be honest, because it was.
That's the dragon's
I
blood.
was proud of myself for actually doing it because, you know, like I hadn't done a lot of research going in. I just watched like a podcast or 2, did a little, Google searching and a little chat. And then I was like, then we listened to Adam's presentation on it and his explanation and that. And I was like, ooh, okay, I'll do the microdose. And actually I decided to do the microdose because of Alyce and Adam. They had a post like from a week, what was it? Probably about 2 weeks prior, maybe a week prior, where you had did just a microdose. And then I think you did 2 dots, 2 of the gates. Yeah. And it wasn't enough to cause the purging, but it was enough that it still brought up an emotional purge. And,
oh, for sure.
You just didn't have the actual.
So unexpected. My intention for sitting with that medicine, I had my lymph nodes were swollen, my throat was sore. So that's why I put it on the back of my neck. Like I sat with it to help heal that, which it did. So that was great. But then, the emotional purge, I was like, that was unexpected.
Yeah. And then prior to the full ceremony on Sunday, I decided to do, it was kind of a last minute ask if I wanted to do the Hapé for grounding purposes. And my nose has been shattered, speaking of narcissistic exes, my nose was shattered back in 03 or 04. So I got a lot of scar tissue up in here. And I thought, I don't know if I necessarily want to do the snuff because it's, what if it makes it 100 times worse? I already had a migraine from just the stress and working so much that weekend. And I was like, he said, some people use it for headaches because it will, some people it makes it go away. So I was like, well, here's my odds. I don't do it. I know this headache's going to stick around and I'm going to have it all weekend. 2, I do it and it's a 50-50 shot of it's either going to get worse or it's going to go away. So I was like, if I don't do it, I know I'm going to have the headache. I got a shot of it going away if I do it. I said, let's just do it. He's like, you want to? And I said, yeah. So, but I tell you what, in 3 seconds, literally 1, 2, 3, my migraine was gone. Completely gone. Like obliterated. Yeah. I was like, where has this been my whole life? My head was pounding.
Have you had any headaches since then?
What's that?
Have you had any headaches since then?
Nope, I haven't.
You
I did
haven't?
on Sunday, but that was post Kambo ceremony. I had a little bit of a headache then.
Do you feel called to like get a Caripe and some Hapé and self-administer?
I probably would, just
Yeah.
because it was incredibly grounding. And what I wasn't expecting was a purge during that process too. I mean, just within a few seconds, my nose, obviously my one side was running, my right, and because I just had it inserted into the left nostril. So I was trying to blow my nose and hold my left shut so it didn't come out, and then I cleared that side because I wanted to fully go in. And then he did the right side as well. And as soon as my head cleared and I was like, holy shit, my headache is gone. I was like, this feels so much better. It was instant relief. It was gone. And nothing has ever worked like that. Nothing ever. And so I sat there and I was like, well, I mean, even a cortisone shot, nothing has ever just made my migraine gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so by that point, I was sitting there and all of a sudden I just started crying. I mean, tears were just pouring out because I was releasing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I had released a parental wound. I hadn't even crossed my mind. I hadn't thought about. I was just like, whew. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was just bawling away.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was pretty much maybe 10 minutes later, it was time to start Kambo. And we got prepared for that and had our dots drawn on and started with the gates.
Don't you feel like such a warrior though?
Yes. When I saw it, when I would drive, and I had my hand right there and I could see it, or when I'm, on my mouse or I'm drawing. Yeah, it did. It was like a total warrior move because it was something that I wasn't prepared for. And I wasn't, you know what I mean? I was kind of just going on a trust mode. I knew enough about it that I felt comfortable with it, but not enough that I had decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm one of those people, I like to deep dive. I like to really look into things and then sit with it and decide if it's something I want to proceed with. This, I kind of just decide, you know what? I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And did. And it was a great experience. I had a whole week of purging. Not vomiting and not GI tract purging. I actually didn't physically purge in that sense. I had to tinkle like a racehorse. I would say that. I run to the ladies' room because I had to tinkle really bad. And then I cried tons. I mean, I can't, oh my goodness. I was just pouring. I felt bad for Adam because I turned on and looked at him and he was just sitting there and just tears rolling out of him. Because, you pick up people. He can't not pick up people's energy, it's.
Yeah. Well, he's
you work as a vessel and just let it flow through you. But at the same time, you're still processing what you're feeling from other people. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was in here bawling away. Mary, boy, all of a sudden, I think you made it to dot 2 with the second gate. All of a sudden I heard, whoo.
You know what else? But you know what Alyce said earlier? People who facilitate usually are the ones who end up purging.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe because I'm usually the one facilitating, I'm usually the one feeling everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not guessing, but gosh, I've done Hapé and Sananga now every weekend. And 2-3 times a weekend. I mean, and I have my own personal stash too, and not only do I have my own personal stash, I got the shaman and I got the jaguar medicine. I got the baller medicine, and it does, you can see it affects people differently, it's a really strong, the ones I have are I would have to say on a scale of 1 to 10, they are strong. And when Adam is like, hey, how do you want me to do this? And I'm like, I want the power. And he's just whoosh. And it goes all the way up your brain. And all of a sudden you feel it burn, And it's so funny trying to explain it to people who've never done the medicine, don't understand plant medicine. And they're like, wait a second. So you blow stuff up your nose and it can make you vomit. It can make you throw up and cry. And
why are you doing this?
We're going to burn each other.
Your eyes that burns your eyes and you can't see. And then,
I'm so used to just hanging out with other people that just pass me a joint.
It's
Like,
been,
that's good. I'm
it's
good with
been,
that
you
one.
know
Yeah,
what?
thank
It's
you.
been amazing. This whole journey has just been amazing. And I even did a cold plunge the other day, and that was a lot of fun. So that was really cool.
I
And
can
that
do
was at
those.
Alyce's,
We
one
call
of
them,
Alyce's events.
yeah, polar plunges. I can handle those. But I grew up with it. That was more just like, you guys want to go do something stupid? Yep, let's do it.
Didn't even know you were working with your nervous system and building resilience. You're just like,
I did learn after a while because I was a volunteer firefighter for a while, and we had to do like ice rescues on rivers and things like that, just in case, or training for it, I should say. So I went in the water a lot when it was cold, but you learn about wetsuits and stuff too, because that's really cold water. You're walking out 100 feet on a lake of just ice before you hit the open water.
yeah.
Crimson, I just sent you a picture.
Oh my god! No, wait, can I show this one?
Yeah, she has a swimsuit on.
Oh god, I tried. Making
What is
sure.
it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh God, no! Oh my God! So that's Alyce's swimsuit, and although we're both, thinner. I mean, I fit her in her swimsuit. Her torso's
I
shorter
fit
than
your
mine.
swimsuit. We switched.
Oh, it's like you're having a good plunge.
Oh, it was. I was freezing my ass off, though. I was just like, I didn't know what to expect, but it was, yeah.
Your smile, though, like I don't know who got that picture. I love that picture, but I got multiple pictures of you just smiling, and it was just so sweet.
But you know what it is? We're cultivating such an amazing community. I mean, I can only talk from my perspective. Everybody that goes to her events, people who are coming to our organization and our events now, and people who are called to, even a lot of the facilitators like Adam and Yogi J, and just everybody who we're working with. It's so nice, the energy, the people. And even this weekend there was even more healers at your event, Alyce. And the thing is that you don't even know, people are not there to facilitate, they're there just to bond with other people, but it's a bunch of healers. And the energy is beautiful. That's all I can say.
And I think what I feel like my events are unique in the fact that there's not like a hierarchy. I'm not like, oh, this is my event, like know your place, da da da. Like I will say it throughout each and every session or whatever we're doing, because we do meditation, ecstatic dance, yoga, cold water immersion, the plant medicines, and breath work. And it's like every single step of the way, I'm like, I will remind everyone, like, we are all healers. And if you feel called to be support for someone, I highly encourage you to do that. And it's the most beautiful thing, because like sometimes people feel like they need that permission, like, oh, it's okay that I can do this. And I feel like my events really give people that safe space to like showcase their special gifts. So I'm just really grateful that I've been able to create that. And honestly, my workshops were birthed from my first ayahuasca experience. So I came back, I sat in the 222 portal, and I came back on this, and I hosted my first event on spring equinox, so in March. And yeah, it was crazy. I used like Eventbrite because like nobody really knew me in the spiritual community. And so I used Eventbrite to like market my event. And I mean, I filled it up. There was like, I don't know, 7 or 10 people there. And they originally started at Loose Park. But then they've kind of bounced all over, and it's grown. I mean, sometimes I'll have 30 people there. Sometimes I'll just have 5. But it really doesn't matter. It's not about the size of people. It's just, I created it because I needed a place to heal, and I financially couldn't afford to go to a lot of events. So lo and behold, Wild Heart Warriors was birthed, and And now I have a lot of different, I let different yoga instructors guide. I have different, well, usually the breath work is either me or my friend Josh. But you know, there's always new people, and it keeps it fun and exciting, and it gives people an opportunity to network and meet other people. So I'm happy it's been going strong.
That's awesome. Crimson, I just sent you a couple pictures.
I know. We're sharing them again.
No worries.
No, the one picture, the one picture that you had up of Jake, that was him getting Hapé.
Yeah.
That
looks like a lot of fun.
So how would you self-administer?
So what Adam is using is called a tepi. And what you would use to self-administer is called a caripe. Actually, I have one. Hold on. So this is how you would self-administer. My friend Bruno made this. He's from Costa Rica. But you would put the medicine in your hand, scoop it up, and then...
Okay.
That'll do it.
Yeah. It's a vastly different experience. You know, it's a little harder to get like a really good deep breath to self-administer. And also, I don't know, I think for me, it's like, I know what's about to happen. So I'm like, like I don't, so it's easier when someone else does it. And I feel like it's more powerful, but it's a beautiful medicine to like do like a dieta with, same with Sananga. And so a dieta, you sit with the medicine for 21 days. And so it's just a great way for you to build your relationship with the medicine. But also it's beautiful to experience, and sometimes surprising, like the depth of the emotions that you feel the longer you're sitting with the medicine. So yeah, definitely encouraged. I've done a dieta with the Sananga, so I did that for 21 days, and I would self-administer, and I would have my boys with me for support, and so they're used to seeing my weirdness, which was also beautiful. My at the retreat, the safari retreat, my 7-year-old was there, and he was helping throughout the entire Kambo ceremony. He would play the Kashi chimes. He was doing Reiki and moving energy. It was really, really cute.
It was absolutely adorable.
He was, I could feel him, and I've told you this. He was behind me, and I didn't know who was behind me, moving energy while I was purging from the Kambo. Honest to God, this kid was just moving with his hands, just moving energy. And then all of a sudden, I hear the bell behind me, and all of a sudden, I hear he was playing all the instruments. It was really. That's the one thing that I guess I wanted to be able to do, was bring together a family event, because a lot of times facilitators have to travel and our children can't be involved in events, or we have to leave them behind. You know what I'm saying? There isn't a lot of times that you can bring your children on these retreats. Out of country, it's a little bit different, but in the US, if you're traveling to do ceremony or what have you, it's hard to bring the kids along or have them, they can't be present. You know what I mean?
He's a great kid.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I love him a lot. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's super sweet. About the Sananga, that actually surprisingly didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was going to. Because I really didn't know if I wanted to do that. It just didn't appeal to me, the thought of like agonizing pain in my eyes for a couple minutes, Yeah. And then the clarity after, I'm like, I just don't know, because what if it gives me a migraine? Sometimes when you're sensitive to migraines, you're like, I really don't want something that's probably going to spike in a headache, and then I got to deal with that all weekend. So I was just like, and then I was like, are you sure? And everybody's doing it, but some were really screaming away, and others were just kind of like making awkward noises. Like, I said, all right, you know what? I'm here. I did my dot. I'm there. I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah.
And so I just laid back and put the dot, or had him put the 2 drops in. And I opened, and sure, it burned. But you know what? It was not nearly as bad as I imagined. I was so glad for that. It was like, it kind of reminded me of, like, you know, if you ever get makeup in your eye and it burns like heck for a minute, like mascara or something, or eyeliner, like a liquid eyeliner, or if you're, you know, Halloween makeup and that, and you get it in, and you're just like, whoo. Then you just gotta let it kind of flush out and rinse. You just kind of hold your breath and like let it go. That's pretty much, it was the same process. And I was just like, open my eyes, and I'm kind of blinking. I was like, I'm fine. It's okay. But I will say that when I was driving home Sunday night, usually at night, if it's kind of raining or wet out, you know, and it's like the windshield is kind of gets a little bit of water here and there, it will kind of give it, like, my vision isn't like bad at night, but it's kind of irritating, you know. Crystal clear. Headlights on the windshield, crystal clear. I was like, okay, now that's a noticeable benefit.
Yeah, it can help the physical function of your eye. It can correct your vision if you're using it regularly. So it's a real thing. Yeah. And, you know, the indigenous tribes use that as well for hunting because it helps clarity. It helps them see better.
Yeah. It's supposed to be night vision and like your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have a problem. Like usually it's just like bright headlights, or if somebody's got their brights on, you know, and you're kind of like squinting till they get past you. It's like, asshole. You know, turn your brights off.
Alyce, do you have any other events coming up other than, I'm sorry, I don't have your schedule in front of me.
I think June 20th is my next Wild Heart Warrior workshop.
Okay.
And then June 19th, Adam and I are hosting an introduction to Kambo. So just to, you know, opening 1 or 2 gates. So June 19th and June 20th is all I have. Oh, I have another event June 17th. That's a really busy week. I just got actually Carrie, which was one of the healers that was at the event this past weekend. She invited me to serve medicine at an event that, like a couples event, a couples intimacy event that she is hosting. So I will be doing that as well.
Nice.
So
that's awesome. Well, if you want to tell everybody kind of where they can find you and get more information.
So on Instagram, I am Sun Goddess Healing Retreats. And then on Facebook, it's just my name, Alyce Walters. I don't have a website. I don't have anything fancy. It's, you know, it's word of mouth, or if you happen to see one of the 10,000 photos or videos I post a day.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on tonight and giving everybody, you know, an introduction to ayahuasca, the background on your retreats and yourself personally. And then thank you for everything this past weekend. So
yes, thank you for sharing your story.
Yes.
You're welcome. Yeah. It's crazy. Gotta love it.
I feel like I'm in the same boat in a lot of things that you've dealt with your ex. I just don't, I'm not at the point where I'm willing to talk about mine.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah. It's just like I still feel like I'm still in the middle of it, kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, and you have a child with that person?
Yep.
Yeah. Same age as mine, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. I definitely, there's definitely a lot of parallel parenting that happens. There is no co-parenting at all. So yeah, it's been interesting. But you know, my main focus is my son. So I'm just very direct, straight to the point. I don't entertain anything that it doesn't have to do with my son.
That's where I'm at too. It's just like, if it doesn't have to deal with them, I ain't worried about it.
Right. Exactly. And I only talk on email. So that keeps me protected, everything, because text messages cannot be held up in court. And so, you know, I feel like that gives me another extra layer of protection. Everything is time stamped. And so,
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. I send you lots of love, and if there's anything that I could do to help support you through that, like, don't hesitate to reach out. I feel like I've pretty much mastered it. My ex really doesn't mess with me anymore. I'm not fun. I'm not fun.
Messing with you, then they give up.
Get a reaction out of me anymore. So
they got to find a new source when you do that.
Yeah.
Hey, for instance, since they postponed the Grow Me getaway, we're actually going to have, remember Adam? Adam Dearman? Yellowbird?
Me, yeah.
Okay. Adam's going to be coming to hang out in Missouri in July for 2 ceremonies. You get one of those ceremonies, I guarantee you it'll change your life.
I'm here to sit with which on the 18th. What is that? Is that San Pedro or peyote?
We're doing peyote first and then St. Pedro the following weekend. Okay. But the thing is that he also educates everybody, and he actually said for the St. Pedro, he's going to show the preparation and what have you for those who want to come and see the preparation. So if you noticed, there's limited amount of seating to sit with the medicine this time, and we're going to be very, I don't want to say selective, but I'll say selective in the energy of, I've invited a lot of facilitators, healers, and community friends that I know where their energies are at, because anybody who has sat with plant medicine, you want to make sure that you're in a stable, as much of a stable, healthy environment as possible because of everything that goes on during ceremony,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's very important to vet the participants for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very excited for that. I haven't sat with that medicine yet. So I've been working with Aya. I've been working with my connection to the divine feminine within myself, and through that medicine, that's really helped me. And then, mushrooms, it is more masculine, and then Kambo is more masculine. So I'm starting to work on that part of me now, and so I feel like the timing is perfect that Adam is coming, and that this opportunity is in my orbit. So I'm excited.
The grandfather medicine was the first medicine that I actually worked with. So for me, it was, mushrooms, but as far as sitting in like a major ceremony, it was peyote. And, I don't know.
I know we did quite a ceremony.
You know what's really wild? As I'm sitting and talking to everyone and we're talking about the medicine, you know how they say when you do the medicine, you can call on the medicine, or sometimes the medicine will just come through. Even though the ceremony's been done years or weeks, I'm literally looking at Jake and I'm seeing, and the whole room is, there's a lot of spiritual activity going on about now. But that also gets ignited when I talk to or I'm around certain individuals, Oh
yeah. Sometimes it's super interesting, but sometimes when I sit with the mushroom, it feels very Aya to me. It's like, because she's in me, she will always remain inside of my body. So it's interesting that sometimes other medicines can trigger her to come out. And I've also had so I host like private ceremonies, mushroom ceremonies for people, and consistently across the board, people always see me as this like jungle woman, like ayahuasca, like vines, almost like Medusa-y, but like it's not snakes, it's vines. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like that feels like such an honor to me, because like she's my girl. She's my girl. She's kicked my ass, but now we're friends, like it a lot, because it was not easy for the first I don't know, 5 ceremonies. I had my ass handed to me, but I'm stubborn, right? And she, also, I feel like she had to speak to me in a way that I would get through to me. And my whole life was very chaotic, so I responded to chaos. You know, if someone was being very gentle to me, it wasn't going to register. And so I feel like she had to like, you know, and then now I'll purge, but there's not like deep crying. There's not energy being stuck in my solar plexus or my throat, or, you know, I can sit with the medicine, I can purge, and then I go right into the slot and we start talking. I get information. It's awesome. And to me, I feel very proud. I feel like it's a testament to how much I've cleared, but I think it's also a testament to how good I am with it in the day-to-day with my spiritual hygiene. I feel like when I go there, it's just a recalibration. It's like, yeah, I purge because, you know, I'm not perfect, right? Like I can't clear everything out. I can do my best, but so I feel like when I go there, like that's what she's doing. I get more information about my future or whatever, and yeah, just like a recalibration and just a little bit of clearing, instead of like, you know, she told me that, like, I don't know, maybe one of the first few times she was like, I had to clear you out before I could work on you. Oh.
The purging is in layers too, so it's, you know, it doesn't just like, oh, you do it and it's done, or then you purge over here and it's done. It kind of just goes deeper and deeper. So yeah, for her to completely, you know, empty you, work on you, and then start the healing.
Yeah.
Like onion layers of crap first to get to you.
Exactly. And, you know, I mean, I've got 38 years of my own bullshit that I've like accrued, you know, but then also there's ancestral and generational stuff. And so, you know, there was a lot of clearing of that. And I do not come from a healthy lineage of women. So I was definitely clearing a lot out for them. And it was hard, and it, you know, it doesn't feel fair. Like, why did I have to do all this hard work? But I get it now, and, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. And I honestly I don't have any connection with any of those women at all. So not only did I clear it from my DNA, I cleared it from my environment.
Nice.
So, which goes back to the integration and what Mary was saying. It doesn't matter if you sit in multiple ceremonies, if you keep going back to the same bullshit, you're going to stay stuck. So, yeah.
That's because, remember, or what was it this last time? The answers are all within. You just need to listen. Oh, my guys are so Dr. Seuss. I could write a book.
Yeah. It's hard to listen sometimes when it's not the answer that we want, and when it's not the timing that we want, you know, we kind of get like bitter about it.
You know what, though? I'm going to say this year, I don't know if it's the year of the horse. I don't know if it's just energetically where everything is going. But what I do know is that because of all the people who are now being placed in my path and around me, energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, the whole gamut, it's like the source, universe, and just energy. What it boils down to is when you change your energy and your vibration, you're changing your circles. You know, you're going to bring in what you need, what's at your level. Of course, you're going to attract the ones that you're going to need to swat out eventually, or that don't last. But the people who don't last, they go pretty quick. I mean, week or two now for me. Like, they're not at the same energetic level, and, you know, they're full of shit. Bye, see ya, go on with your life. I'm moving on, you know. And it's not that I'm a bad person or I'm cold-hearted or anything like that. It's just that my energy, at my age, I've learned my energy is too precious to waste on people that aren't going to do the work, or who are not willing to see what they're doing, you know.
Right. It's not the right use of your energy.
I would
pour
much
just
rather
already
hang out with you and your, and everybody in Kansas. I'd much rather hang out with Kelly. I'd much, there's people I'd much rather spend my time and energy with, where I know that I'm not going to be drained and I'm not wasting my time.
Right. Right. For sure. Yep. I feel that. My discernment is at an all-time high now, I feel. So I'm very proud of myself for that, because it wasn't always. I used to like pride myself on, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. And that no longer resonates with me. Not at all. I'm going to give you a 90-day trial period before I figure out if I like you.
Isn't it funny how it's almost automatic energetically though now, Alyce? When you meet somebody, you kind of have that, maybe I'll give them a chance, and you give them a chance, and then it's like they immediately show you who they are, and you're like, okay.
I think what we all need to remember is that your first instinct is 90% usually right, and you have to stop questioning ourselves.
For sure.
Because when we question ourselves, we get kicked in the ass every time.
Well, we're really good at gaslighting ourselves. That's the thing, is like sometimes you like want to convince yourself that somebody's performance is the actual truth, because that's what you want, right? You're like, I'm projecting my goodness onto this person, and yeah, I agree with you. Go with your gut instinct, the first one. Even if you don't have all the logical information in front of you, ask questions later. Yeah. It'll be revealed.
Perfect note. Well, on that, I'm gonna say thank you again for coming. I promise, Crimson, we wouldn't go super late tonight.
Oh, you're good. It was, yeah.
I know. I just feel bad if we go too long. But I want to say,
it's been a great combo.
What's that?
Go ahead. It's been a great combo tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Everybody's got little ones, and get them off and ready for bed. But thank you again, Alyce, for everything. And I will definitely look into the Ayahuasca retreat, the women's retreat for this October. Yeah. Don't know yet how it's going to. I'm looking at purchasing a house. My daughter is getting married, but they're looking at Costa Rica too.
So, I love that.
Yeah.
So now you're seeing and hearing things about Costa Rica before going.
We're going to the women's retreat, Kelly. You're not backing out. Like, we're just, you know.
Yeah, we gotta see, like, I got a budget.
But remember, there is no budget. The car appeared in the driveway.
That's true there.
That is true.
I mean, I am good at manifesting, but
well,
it's a trip you know what? It's a trip with your girls to Costa Rica, okay?
Well, and I mean, Costa Rica itself is life changing. Like, you don't even have to sit with the medicine, and you feel it.
Yeah.
So it's just being there and being all around all of the trees and the plants and the animals and the ocean, and it's healing. And then you add the ayahuasca on top of it, and the yoga and the connections that we're making with each other, which we start making those connections before you even go on retreat, because I put everyone in a WhatsApp group. So you already get to build that relationship with people, and it's magical. But it's $3,300. I allow custom payment plans. So essentially it's $500 to reserve your spot, and then you can make payments however you see fit until it is paid up by October 1st. So I like to make it as accessible for people, because sometimes doing $3,300 is a lot for some people. You know what I mean? Even just doing half of it is a lot for some people. So, I have a girl right now for October. The day that she figured out how she could do her payment plan, it was exactly 33 weeks away from the retreat. So she has paid me $100 every week and she's already more than halfway paid up. So, it's nice to know that you don't have to throw down a big chunk of money. So
perfect.
Well, thank you again for coming on a second time and sharing it with us.
Yeah. And when you're ready for Aya, you can come in February. So start saving.
I'll probably never try it.
No, okay, that's right.
Everything just scares me about that.
That's all right.
I thought that too about, burning little holes in my arms. See, they're all gone.
Well, it's mostly my custody thing. I'm afraid to do anything because of my custody situation.
Oh, well, that's valid.
I can't, I had my whole right to grow my own cannabis in a legal state taken away from me because of custody.
Really?
I can't grow my own anymore.
Yeah.
I can't have my son around it. I can't, if I'm going to keep custody, I have to give that up.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
So doing something outside of cannabis scares the shit out of me.
That's
I
valid.
won't even do mushrooms ever again. I just nope, not taking any risks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When he turns 18, you can explore it all.
Yeah. Once I hit my 50s, we'll talk. I'll go on some retreats when he gets his first apartment. Yeah. But thank you again for coming on and sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was fun. I love.
And for those still watching, thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. Yeah. And we're gonna call it a night. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.